Is there like a step that people could start taking to help themselves, let's say with the sugar or whatever it might be that's giving them a hard time? Do you recommend like eliminating the trigger to start, or what are your, I guess, initial steps with that?
So initial steps are always identifying triggers.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to go back and look at the triggers. So a person can, I do have some people that I speak with that are tracking, right? They track their food perhaps, or they've had experience with that. It's not something that I necessarily ask for. I do ask them for 2 to 3 days to track their eating out of schedule. Let's say, for example, so if you find yourself at 9 o'clock at night, you're in the kitchen, stop right there and think about what just happened. Why am I here? Did you even know you came to the kitchen? Right? So the first thing we're going to do is just look at what are their current habits, make them aware of their current habits, and then find out from them where they'd like to start, right? And if with the sugar addiction, what we're going to look at first is the piece about dealing with the triggers. Many addictions like this, sugar, food addictions, what have you, are ways that a person can distract their brain rather from dealing with what really is bothering them. So we look at this as a distraction. My program is not necessarily about delving into the deep thoughts of what might be bothering them. Sometimes they don't even recognize it, right? Sometimes it's things they haven't talked about. I had a man last year come into the stress management program. He was sent through his work. His work said, we need you to do this. And he came into the program and we were just talking. He was talking about his adult children and things that were going on there. And I just listened. Simple as that. He talked, I listened. He would say, wow, this is an amazing session. And then after about 5 sessions, he said to me, the fact that he walks now in the evenings has been amazing for him. He wasn't doing that before. He gets home from work and he goes for a walk with his wife. He said he can't remember the last time he talked to his wife. And he said to me, and he wrote on the evaluation, which was so nice. He said, I came into the program for stress management and I left with a better marriage. Right? Yeah. Because it's just about, he didn't know that he had so much anxiety about his kids. He didn't realize how much stress until he started talking about it. So everyone, just why is this happening is step number 1. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I can't make a new habit unless I know what's causing me to do this habit. And I remember with you, Mauro, in terms of bringing in habit management and change, right? Which you did, and understanding it's that triangle, right? It's the cue, the behavior, or the trigger, the behavior, and the reward.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So being able to look at that, it still works in all these different applications. It really works. What was the trigger? Right. It was that phone call from a friend. That was then I find myself eating because I'm upset, and theoretically not a reward, but we're able to replace those things.
Yeah, this is all. I love it. I love talking about this. I could go on forever with all this stuff. And you recall, I used to like talking about it, telling you guys about all the stuff that I had got into and learned and all that. But I wanted to make sure today, Jackie, like we've gone through everything that maybe you wanted to get out there and to talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, no, we have. And I have one quote, Mauro, if I can share with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This quote, I love it because it changed the way that I'm able to support my nutrition clients with stress management, with anxiety, mood, all these different things. And this is a quote from a psychiatrist, Dr. Daniel Amen. Okay, he's within functional medicine. Great podcasts that he has as well. I have a number of his books. But the quote that he shared once that I was very happy to hear was that you can't, I have it written down here, you can't fix the software if the hardware is broken. Okay, so this comes down to anxiety or depression or along the whole spectrum, right? That you can't fix the software if the hardware is broken. So what that means for me is let's support healthy nutrition. Let's try to decrease those foods that are probably causing inflammation in your brain, having this disconnect, making it just harder to focus or manage emotions. And let's put in the food that's going to support that, right? The real food, the healthy food that's going to give you the nutrients for optimal brain function, because then you can work with whatever specialist you need to work with in supporting, right, anxiety and supporting whatever might be the current challenge. But having both sides, right? We got to feed the brain the food that it needs and that it loves in order to fix how we think. And that to me was a game changer. You know, a lot of people don't realize the effect that food has on every system in the body. So we're able to break it down. And so that to me is my favorite quote. And just want to leave you with that.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good point too, right? And I think that as you were just alluding to, oftentimes nutrition is the first sort of influence on a lot of these different systems, right? So sometimes, and this is probably why a lot of people talk about how good they feel after the small change in nutrition, often because they start to nourish their body a little bit more, whereas before they weren't eating in their best interest usually, and all of a sudden they start functioning a little bit better and they realize, wow, like I didn't realize how bad I felt before until I started feeling this good.
Exactly. No, exactly. And that's